Have you ever experienced something in your life that sounded spiritual, but you didn't share it with anyone because you maybe thought nobody would have taken you seriously? Or maybe you look at social media and you see people talking about, I don't know, like crystals, manifestation, or like spiritual topics, and you think like, what are they even talking about? What are they even doing, right? So if something like this happened to you, or you're just curious about what I'm going to say in this video, please keep watching after the intro. Welcome everyone to my channel Integrated Spirituality. My name is Annette and I'm here to help people to develop an independent interpretation of reality and trying to understand together how spirituality is integrated in our everyday life. This video in particular will introduce a series of videos where we'll discuss the way how actually spirituality is part of our life, even if sometimes we don't really realize that, and also trying to analyze these topics from different perspectives. So this first video in particular will address what I consider to be the two main reasons why there is a kind of a stigma around and on spirituality. These two main reasons are, from my perspective, the business of alternative healings and the consumeristic spiritual content that we find on social media. So we just mentioned two words, right? Two key words. One is, of course, spirituality, and the other one is stigma. So let's try to give a definition of these two terms. First of all, it's important to realize that there's not just one definition when it comes to these broad terms. Everyone can give their own definition, but it's important that now we just try to understand together what we mean by this. So when it comes to stigma, stigma can be considered a set of negative or often unfair beliefs that a person, a group of people, or society have about something. While when it comes to spirituality, spirituality can be considered as the quality of being concerned with the soul and the spirit, and in general what goes beyond the material and physical world. Even though they are strictly connected, they are also divided. So being spiritual means going beyond what is just the physical world, right? So of course the things that I explain comes from my way of seeing them, my interpretation, what I've built through the years. And now I see, of course, spirituality. So you're spiritual when you try to go beyond the concrete form of reality and you want to understand more, you want to realize the purpose of your life, the purpose of the world, the purpose of why we exist in this way, and you want to find the meaning behind everything that happens to you, everything you see. So you want to give another interpretation to your life more than just we are here to just eat, work, or whatever. Being spiritual means wanting to find your own rules, your own values, exploring your path, walking your path. So differently from religion, where religion gives you the rules, gives you the values. Nothing wrong with someone that wants to be religious because they prefer to have something already prepared for them. That's not what I do believe is the right thing to do, in my opinion, but of course everybody is just free to do whatever they want. But I do believe that, at least in my life, the purpose is to find my own way and not having anyone to say and to tell me what to do. And maybe we will talk about my journey, if you're interested in, from religion to spirituality and like the different stages I've been through. But still we can ask, why are there spiritual theories, right? I mean, it's not that everybody has completely different opinions. Some people find a common ground, right? So there are theories. There are, for example, when we talk about manifestation, more or less, I mean, of course, people that are interested in the topic and people that know what it is, more or less have the same opinion. This is because I do believe that by making experiences in the spiritual world, we more or less experience the same realities, the same events, to the point where we come to similar conclusions. So at that point, when people come to similar conclusions and they talk to each other and they debate, they discuss, then we come to a theory, which is not something that has been imposed on others. So that's also what I think is different from religion. It's not that someone says, God said this thing and we all need to follow that. But people with their experiences came to similar conclusions, and from there we developed a theory together. That's how I see spirituality. So going back on what is stigma, when we apply stigma on spirituality, we can say that people that want to go beyond the concrete reality, the material, they want to discover the unseen, when there is a stigma on them, it means that other people, society, just one specific person, sees the person that wants to explore the spiritual realm as being deviant, as being wrong, as being out of control. I don't know, just like having a negative idea on this person. I'm going to discuss what I do believe are the main two reasons that cause stigma on spirituality nowadays. This business of alternative healings, but also the consumeristic spiritual content on social media. And of course, they are not the only causes that we can find. Things change continuously. So what I'm talking about is just a generalization. It's just two main trends I individuate. So what is happening now does not have to happen in the next, 2 years, or didn't have to happen 2 years ago. So I'm just discussing what I observe, what I think are, as I said, the two main trends leading to the stigmatization of spirituality in this present moment, and especially in the Western world. That's also very important. Something that I need to mention is that probably most of the things I'm saying come from a Western perspective, a Western context. I don't know the whole world, so maybe these trends happen also outside. And if you know something about that, just let me know, because I'm very interested in knowing how the same situations occur in different contexts. So let's start with the first reason that I do believe led to the stigmatization of spirituality. And as I said, is the business of alternative healings. So probably you've heard about Reiki, aromatherapy, crystal therapy, homeopathy, and maybe you've heard or you read or you do believe that these are just ways of stealing money from people. And maybe you also think that they are dangerous because no one can prove that they work. And so they are just affecting the health of people because they do not work and they're just a scam, right? Well, that's not completely wrong, but we need to take a step back. With the West being more interested in especially Eastern remedies, they just extracted these alternative healings from their culture, from their context, and they wanted to commercialize these remedies, right? So what happened is that by taking away a specific remedy from its whole holistic understanding, from its whole holistic system, then you're not going to have the same results. And just saying, I'm going to make a whole series on that, so we will dive deeper into this topic, which is very, very important. So as I said, taking these remedies, then you forget what's all behind. And by westernizing these remedies, they are sold as magical solutions where you don't have to do anything else. Just take the, oil, the essential oil, or the little pill or whatever they give you, and then this is going to solve all of your issues. That's not true. These remedies work because there's also like a whole work behind, a whole work that you have to do on yourself. The equation is alternative healings don't work. The thing is that, as I said before, it's not that they don't work a priori, it's just that they need a whole system surrounding them. But what's even worse is that from these remedies, people have just invented whatever remedy, like this time really zero proof that it works, zero context, zero, it's just like inventing stuff just to make money. So they are sold, portrayed as being magical therapies where they're going to solve all your issues and you just have to take them and everything is going to be fine. So just to summarize a bit, as I said, yes, some of them do not work for real because they are fake. They just have been invented and sold just to make money. So that's a business. And then the other problem is that these remedies have just taken away from their context and sold as a remedy without helping people to make a more holistic work. What happens is that these remedies are stigmatized because there is this whole system behind them that if you don't know, then of course you believe they're just charlatans who sell remedies. It's easy, especially if it's something that you're not interested in to the point that you want to research yourself. It's easy to have then wrong understandings of how things work. That's not a problem. We are here to learn, right? To help each other. So it's going to be a more complex topic. As I said, we will discuss that with more videos in the future. But just to start with, reflect on this, maybe think about your own experiences or experiences that you heard from other people about alternative healings, and make a comment, and I will gladly read that and come back to you. The second element that I individuate as leading to the stigmatization of spirituality is the consumeristic spiritual content on social media. Social media are everywhere. They can be great tools to search information and to educate ourselves. The problem is that on social media, you just share a limited amount of information, especially when using social media such as Instagram or TikTok. And the fact that you just write a little amount of information, mostly in the forms of posts or just few sentences or short videos, then you're not going to discuss the whole topic, what's behind the topic you're discussing, what are all the other elements that you're not considering in that little amount of information you are sharing now. And this leads to misunderstandings, and especially when it comes to spirituality, from my perspective, because I not only watch videos, but I really like to read the comments and see what people think. I saw that when it comes to spirituality, this type of content can lead to a huge level of misunderstanding. And of course, there are channels, pages that talk about spirituality more in details, but I think that people that search for this more detailed knowledge are people that already are interested in the topics, or they're very curious and they realize that what has been shared in that short video is not everything. But not everyone wants to do that, right? So it happens often that people see these reels, these TikTok videos or whatever about spirituality, and they think, oh, well, that's it. While it sounds a bit, superficial, or sounds a bit childish sometimes, it happens to me as well to think about that things are explained too simply, and they mostly focus on the aesthetic part of spirituality. You see videos where there are crystals or quick tarot reading or quick rituals that you can do by yourself without like the whole word that's behind. Like what I do really believe is spirituality. This is of course part of spirituality, but it doesn't have to be necessarily part of your path. Like reading tarots or using crystals does not make you automatically spiritually deep, right? And from my perspective, especially, I do believe spirituality comes from ourselves and the material reality. I think we can learn a lot from the material reality about spirituality. And I think you don't need any object that you need to buy, especially to be spiritual. Like I've seen videos of people regretting being spiritual or having been spiritual because they were like, oh, I spent tons of money on crystals, tons of money on readings, tons of money on herbs that you use for rituals. That's not the key. That's not the goal of being spiritual, right? These are just side elements that you can use in your path. But if you don't like them or you just don't have the money to buy those things, that's totally fine. That doesn't stop you from your spiritual path, right? So I'm happy on one hand that spirituality became more mainstream in the sense that people started to explore this part of themselves. But yeah, the side effect is that if content like this, like what I've just said, keep being shared, then what happens, and it's already happening, is that you have, people, society, the users of social media see spirituality just as being something where you need to use all these objects, where you need to spend your money on, where you need to focus on things that are outside you, kinda. But that's not it. And I will also discuss about these, as I said, like side elements, so like tarots, crystals, spells, rituals in the videos, trying to give a different perspective and also talking about my own experience. But yeah, I mean, social media really lead to misunderstanding of spirituality, because what matters is being productive, is producing, right? So what happens is that on social media, in order to have more views and followers and whatever, you have to produce a lot of things, right? So that's not the point, you know. I do believe information is and knowledge is sacred, so we really need to talk about that and really need to go into details when talking about something, or at least not just consuming knowledge for the sake of it without realizing what we're missing and what's the real content of that video. These are the two elements that I do believe that contributed to the stigmatization of spirituality. And probably by now you have more questions and answers, but that's fine. Actually, it's better to have questions rather than wrong answers or just like prepared answers given by someone. And if you have anything specific that you would like to ask, please leave a comment. I'm going to read them and I'm going to reply to them. I accept any suggestion that you want to give me about like making videos, because I'm just starting. So, and yeah, if you like it and if you're interested in what's coming next, please subscribe and also activate the notification bell so that you don't miss any other video. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!